Okay, are you finally convinced that the experts don't know shit? They don't know what they're talking about. Everybody's guessing and guessing wrong nowadays. And that's why, yeah, I think we really have to be careful about relying on experts. I mean, look at this is the website, 538.com. This is like the guru of all polling data. And look what he had. Even the night before the election, he said Hillary had a 71% chance of winning and Trump only 28%. Man, actually, 6 months ago, everybody thought Trump had a 0% chance. And 2 years ago, when he was started, people laughed at him. And look at him, he's now the president. And so you're taking your advice from experts, man. They're no better than you or I, it seems. It can't. Our life is so different nowadays. It can't be. We used to be able to rely on history to give us a clue what the future will be like, but now that doesn't work anymore. So we're going to these same people and they're wrong, and we're not trusting ourselves enough. That's what I think is the problem, is that we have just as much chance of being right or wrong, and I think if we trust ourselves, we can be more right because we'll work hard at it if it's our own decision. If somebody else, we're taking their decision and it's wrong, then we just say the guy was an idiot and then I'll never listen to him again. But if we're wrong when we make the decision, then we try to understand it better and get more out of that. What was wrong about it, so we could grow better instead of taking the advice of experts. I mean, it's good to have advice from people just to make sure you're not jumping off a cliff or something like that. But you really have to look within yourself, because you're the responsible for yourself to make that decision, and you can. And you know enough, because we're all so unique. Nobody knows you as well as you. I mean, look at other things. It's not only the politicians. Look at this. It recently came out. Almost all men with early prostate cancer survive 10 years regardless of your treatment. That's right. Whether you had an operation, didn't have an operation yet, this, that, the whatever. No matter what the hell you did, you had the same survival rate. And you go to the doctor and they're going to tell you, oh, this will go to cure you. And they're guessing. They don't know. So that's why you really have to get as much information as you can and make the decision yourself. What is important for you? No one could tell. And it lives in your shoes like you do. And you could use these experts as some input or whatever, but they don't know. They're guessing, and that's why it's taking control of your own life and deciding what to do, and it become more fun because you're involved in the process. You're not giving up your soul to somebody else to tell you how to live life or do these things or whatever. You're 9 times out of 10 you're going to fail anyway, so you might as well fail doing it your way because you work harder at it. Well, here's another thing. Look at scientific journals. They're mostly wrong. Most scientific papers are probably wrong. Isn't that incredible? Now, this is the biggest, the best information we have, whether it's prostate cancer or coffee, good or bad for you. Like the data, you read this thing after you Google something like this, up to 60–70% of these studies, the results are wrong within just a few years. They can't duplicate them. I mean, the whole process is full of problems. When we do these studies, I mean, it's something to take into consideration, sure, but remember, 2/3 are wrong. Yeah, and these are the best people we got doing this stuff. So the whole system. I mean, that's why I think it's just so much more comforting, I think, if we rely on ourselves and take that kind of responsibility. Now, here's another thing too that bothers me. Whoop, let me move this guy over here. Venture capitalists. Okay, now, so you're talking about what kind of business you should start, right? And this is going to be, and we're all looking for inside stories about how to make $1 million. Okay, the richest guys in the world, and they're mostly guys because venture capitalists are 95% men. They're wrong over 75% of the time. In other data I've seen, it's 80–90% of the time. They're wrong. So we go to these people thinking that they know what's going to be popular. We're begging them for money and trying to convince them that this is a good idea. They're wrong. Why convince them? They don't know what the hell works. They're only right, 20–25% of the time. So don't trust what they say. Like these people on Shark Tank or whatever, they know what's going to happen. That's stupid. Yeah, they don't. They're wrong 70–80% of the time. Forget about them. Do it yourself. Find a way around them. And you can now, too. These venture capitalists with all the big money, they don't control the world. You can go out and raise money on the internet now so much easier with crowdfunding and all these kinds of other things that are out there available for you to do things. So get the experts out of your life. And I mean, sure, use them. It may be helpful, but don't build your life around these kind of people. It's your life. You have one life to live. You want to use yourself as much as possible. And I think the way to do that is do the things that you believe in, because then you'll work harder than anybody else. If somebody says, oh, do this, because then you'll make a lot of money. But if it's not really in your heart, you're not going to make sure it makes you money. Something that you really want to do, you'll put in the time and effort necessary to make that happen. So screw the experts. Your best expert is your heart, your own heart. Listen to that sucker more. We got enough nonsense put in our heads by other people. Start looking at your heart more. Make those decisions. Well, hi, I'm in a shopping mall, doing a little Christmas shopping, Black Friday kind of stuff, all this stuff. But I was thinking about, man, I want to give people who watch me a Christmas gift too. So, and what I see that's going on in the country now, even in the shopping mall, that the old things don't work anymore. I mean, I proved it with the election, right? All the old ways don't work. What I believe is that there's new stuff out there that works even better, but you have to get into it. I mean, what's going on the internet and the crowdfunding and peer-to-peer and the shared economy, man, they're the tools you got to use, for 2017 to succeed. And also what we don't use, too, is our heart. Man, you see how everybody, all these experts lose all the time. They don't know what the hell's going on. So you really got to follow your heart nowadays. And I have two video instructions about these two topics. One is how to use your heart in starting a business right here. And oh, I can't even draw a good line. And here's the other one about making money on the internet. It's easy, it's fun, and it costs $0. And I'm giving a 50% discount. So all you do when you check out, and really send them as gifts. Somebody who's struggling, right? Who's not really doing what they really want to do in life or whatever. And that's what I'm trying to show people how to do. They can't trust the experts outside, and that's what these video instructions do. They show you how to get rid of all that junk that's in your head and start using what's in your heart, and then how to use the internet and no money at all to make all those things happen. You can, but you have to start using the tools, and it doesn't take thousands of dollars, to do it. And look, my stuff is nothing. You'll get a couple hours here of all the help you need to figure that out. And that's what it's about in life, is expressing yourself as much as possible and giving as much as possible. You can't give as much as possible unless you're doing the right thing. So let me show you how to figure out what the right thing is and how to get the money to do it. So go to letsgotutor.com and go under choose the right career, business, and job, and download these. And remember that the code is LEARN50. LEARN50. Use that coupon code at checkout, and you get this half price. Man, it's not Black Friday. It's Yellow Friday, like yellow question marks. Okay, well, you gotta be careful out there. Opening up emails or whatever on the internet. Man, it's amazing how smart people are and the way they can get your money. And you don't even have enough, enough armor, to keep these people at bay. Now look at student loans. I got this in my email. Somebody had for help with my student loan. I don't have any. I went to school a long time ago where you didn't need those. But look at this, a picture of Obama hugging Hillary, and it talks about student loan debt, and they're scaring you because now Trump got hired, and all the help the Obama did for your student debt, you're in trouble. people, and you better call this 800 number. Then it quotes, like it says, it's quoting Obama that says, we have officials on the phone, ready to help you, and all this kind of stuff with your student aid. And the 800 number is all over. Then the Sally Mae, they show you, the bill that you may be getting, and thinking that this is the government. Everything here is making you think to the government. So I called this number. First of all, when I got these people finally on the line, it took me a while to make them admit they weren't the government at all. And so I pretended I was somebody making about $25,000 a year and I had $25,000 in student debt. Well, after about a half hour on the phone or more, I finally dragged out of them what it's going to cost. Now, they said it's going to I have to pay them like $200 or $300 for this, okay? And all my problems will be gone and everything because they're the government. I mean, they're implying they're the government. Well, this is stupid. The government, controls this. They're the only ones who could do anything. So what they're trying to do is make you believe that they have special control over the government. They don't. You have as much control as they do. So this is stupid, and it's going to cost you $200. Here, like if you go to the government's website alone, they say, down here, where the heck is it? Okay, don't miss a payment, etc., etc. If your options don't work. Oh, here it is. Beware. Okay, now this is the important part here. The government itself says here, beware, private companies may contact you with offers to help you with your student loans for a fee, but you have to drag it out of them. Remember, you never have to pay for help with your student loans. The U.S. Department of Education and our loan officers will help you for free. Check out the blog and learn more about avoiding paying and getting rid of the debt, because there are payment problems. You could pay as little as $5 a month now and have a whole bunch forgiven, and there's all kinds of ways now to get out of a lot of the student loans that people are burdened with. And you could call there's an ombudsman hotline too that I think is important to know. Oh, why am I doing this now? Here we go. Oh, that's me. Here, the ombudsman. See this 800 number here? 800-877-557-2575. 800-877-557-2575. That's an ombudsman. That's people are trying to get rid of these kind of people. So if you have trouble with your loan service provider or something, these are the cops on the beat that will help you. They'll also direct you where to get other help or whatever. But you could call also your congressman. I mean, there's so many other places. 211 you could call for information like that. We have a little booklet too, a video instructional booklet on this. And actually, if you're really interested, for Thanksgiving Day, I'll give you half off, 50% off. And you just use the coupon code when you check out. There'll be a place to put a coupon code, and the coupon code is 50DEBT, 50 DEBT, 50 debt, and you could get this half price. But even if you use me or not, or just go through the system, and you don't want to pay a couple $100, to these people, doing that. And they're all over the internet. If you Google student debt, you're going to get hit, and they're all going to sound like they're your best friend in the world, and all they want is your goddamn money, And it's something that you already paid for with government, so learn that system. Don't get caught by these people. You don't have to. I mean, I guess it's legal. I don't really think they can't use these images like that. Illegal, pretending they're from the government. That's illegal, but they have to get caught, sort of like the IRS. Yeah, you can do a lot of the IRS as long as you don't get caught. And it's the same here, and it's too bad that people aren't trying to help other people. They're just trying to take advantage because you have pressure, you have problems that you're trying to deal with, and so they pretend that they can help you. Like you can't get any help anywhere else, then they'll get money out of you. And that's the problem to me in life, is knowing your options. And most of us don't know our options, because if we Google student debt, we're not going to get the free stuff. We're going to get people like this that are selling you stuff that you don't have to pay for. So if you really want to know my stuff, okay, I have something. The biggest mistake people make with their student debt, and I'll give you 50% off. I sound like these other guys. Well, you don't really need me, but if I could help, I'd be happy to. And I do it at a price that it's really just nonsense, just trying to make me be able to keep doing it. That's what it's all about. So good luck with dealing with the sharks. There's a lot of sharks on those waters and the internet. Well, in case you missed it, we now have President Trump, and he's going to hire 4,000 people as soon as he can. That's what the government needs. When a new president comes, and the president gets to fill 4,000 jobs. So here's an application. Greatagain.gov. You can go and fill out that application to maybe get a chance at one of these jobs. They're all over the government doing all things. It's not like you're working in the White House. I mean, some do, some don't. But that's what it is. And it's not even an official government job. When the president goes, you go too. Regular government job, you stay there over and over and over. That's what's so neat about it, because it's one of the last jobs in the country, I think, that really can't fire you, when a new boss comes in. Every other job seems to be that way. These big companies, they make money by firing people. The government works a little different. But there's 4,000 jobs. You go to the greatagain.gov, and you could fill out an application right there online. What the heck? It doesn't hurt. And the jobs around the country too, but I'm sure most of them are in Washington because they're. But the government in general, there are a lot of hiring, even for non-political appointee jobs. There's two kinds of jobs: political appointees and those that are regular jobs for the government, and they're really increasing too. So you may want to look at that, because see, all us old baby boomers are retiring, and a lot of them are working for the government, and they're going to be retiring. So we're going to have a lot of empty positions that need to fill in the government. And the government has 2 million people on the payroll. So that's a lot of folks, and if you're worrying about how do you get a regular government job, contact your congressman. They know that. They get this question all the time. They'll show you the paperwork, the site, and everything, and send you something that'll make it easier for that. And how do you find your congressman? You just contact your library or call 211. And they'll hook you up with the local office for your congressman, and just give them a call, and they'll send you information, a link or paperwork or whatever it is. So if you want to work for Trump, here's the website. Oh, I lost it there. So Serve America, it's greatagain.gov. And if you want to work for not being a political appointee and a more secure job, you go to your congressman or call 211 and ask how to, fill out applications. And actually, application for regular federal government jobs, only 20% are in the Washington area. So they're all over the country, and making a good, federal salary, in some, lower standard of living, kind of lower cost of living, area of the country is really good, living. And what's neat about it is pensions, health care, all this kind of stuff, traditional. What do you call it? The extras on a job aren't there anymore, in the regular economy. But in government positions, it's one of the last ones with good pensions. So you may want to think twice about passing up an opportunity like that. Well, I've been doing custom research reports for people who want to buy houses, fix up houses, or even become real estate investors. What I'm doing is customizing the reports just for where you live, what's available in your city, county, and even state. And I ran into this program doing a custom report for a client for what Maryland has. Now, they have a program that gives you grant money for free, gives you a low mortgage rate, and money you don't have to pay back, but you have to be in debt. You have to have a lot of student debt in order to qualify for this. Isn't that amazing? So now the government says, we'll only give you money if you have a lot of debt. Could you imagine going to the bank and saying, well, okay, Chase, I have a lot of debt. Will you give me money? No, it's the other way around. Right? They don't want to give you money if you have a lot of debt, right? Here's a government program that only gives you money if you have a lot of debt. Look at here it is here. Let me see if I can make this work here. See the qualification for a limited time. Maryland Mortgage Program is offering a 0.25% discount on a standard Maryland mortgage program, a mortgage rate, and $5,000 down payment assistance to qualified home buyers that have at least $25,000 of student debt. So you have to have at least $25,000 of student debt. Then we'll give you some free money and cheap interest rates for your mortgage and all that kind of That's like, we don't know the questions to ask, man. We have stuff in our head that we think what life is. It ain't. There's anomalies and different things. That's why I love doing that research. So let me do some research for you to find stuff like this where you live. so you can go and say, tell the bank, go shove it, because I found a place that wants me to have a lot of debt and gives me money to buy a house. Now that's cool. Well, hi, and thanks for ordering a custom report. Man, I love doing these things. I find so many neat things I never knew about before. So I appreciate you making me smarter all the time. But actually, before you get into the report, make sure you watch the video I have about the introduction so you learn how to use this information when you get it. Because really, the information and getting help and money from the government, it's really a people game too. It's not only learning how to use the internet and sending emails. No, it's belly-to-belly stuff, trying to talk to these people and how you treat them. And that's what I go over in that. So that will give you how to handle the next step a little better. Okay, we have the introduction video, which you're watching now, and then we start with local programs. Okay, here's something that I found in your city is interesting. Now, it may not be for you, but keep it in mind because it's $10,000 grant they give for commercial property owners. And the property they show here looks like people live there too. So it may be zoned commercially, but it's living too. So if you have property like that, there's grants to help you fix up that property. And that's money you don't have to come back, pay back. So there's always, boy, grant money is really tough to find. So that it's good to know about that. Real estate development loans, let's see, the real estate development loans from the city. They're there. There's $24,500 loan for low-income families to fix up the house. So you don't have a pot to pee in, you don't have much money, but man, they'll give you a loan for $24,000 fix up your house. Okay, new homes with $350 mortgage. Man, see, this is a nonprofit organization that's doing that. Well, actually, it's a government. So they have payments there to make sure you can afford them. Now, boy, that's a cool thing. And the pictures they show, they're great little houses. Nonprofit builds new homes for low to moderate income families. That's another program. Here, government will pay the tenants rents for your property. So I mean, if you get in the real estate business, you can put the property on the government, and then they put people in your property, and they pay the rent. Now that's a cool deal in a long term. So you have somebody paying the tenant's rent for you. Grants for home rehabilitation and emergency repairs. Home ownership for people who thought it was not possible, but it is possible. See, I mean, there's even, they say, here's a program for people who thought it was impossible to get a home. Ah, you're wrong. See, that's what life is all about. Proving yourself wrong over and over and over again. I've lived so long, I've become a habit, but actually that happens to all of us. I mean, God, I've written 100 books and only 10 have made money, and I swear every one did. And I thought I was a smart guy, but see, we're not. $25,000 loan and rehabilitation experts to fix up your home. So not only give you the money, they give you the folks to fix it up too. $10,000 grant for seniors and people with disabilities to fix up your home. Help to improve all homes in your neighborhood. Get your neighbors together and apply to that program. Here's another program for your neighborhood. Every house in the neighborhood gets $35,000. Yeah. So there's a little program that people don't know about. A lot of this is from nonprofit organizations, stuff like that. Grants for emergency repairs and major rehabilitation. Grants for money to pay your heating bills. Purchase a home with sweat equity. This is a Habitat for Humanity. This is where you go work somebody else, and then there's no down payment, very low, interest, and low monthly mortgage. I mean, it's great deals that people get in houses. 211. Don't forget this number for the rest of your life. This is a database. You can call them. You can go on their line and use their database. See, if you go on Google looking for help, you're going to get people going to sell you something. But this database is only people that give out money and help for free, because it's nonprofit organizations, government offices, things like that. That's all they're there to do, is help you in the community. So you put in the keyword or use their pre-thing, select it, and see all the people. Like, here, I went to Google and put in mortgages. Well, 127 million websites when I put in mortgage. What are you going to do with that? And 99, 44, 100% of them are people going to sell you a mortgage, want money from you in some way, because they have to pay money to be in Google to make sure you see them. And so they need that money to keep in business. So, but 211's not that way. You go into 211, there's 28 people that will help you pay mortgage payments. That's right. For no cost to you. This is money you can get to help pay mortgage payments. There's 28 people that do that. You'll never find them in Google, because everybody's going to elbow them out, so you don't see them and you see them first. And so you think the only option is, I guess it's going to cost me money. Okay, 24 programs for home repair, 116 programs for utility bill help, 24 programs for legal help. Man, I mean, it's just amazing the stuff that's out there. Okay, here, you may know of this, vouchers, home ownership vouchers for low-income people. Now, this is not rental, the 8A stuff where they rent and they pay your rent. No, this is to own a house with that same kind of income. So you bought the house and it's yours, but you did it with a voucher and people are helping you pay the mortgage. Rental assistance for veterans, free independent counseling to help with reverse mortgage. People, these salesmen, when they sell you a reverse mortgage, don't do that. Go to these people first. They get grant money from the government to help you decide if that's good for you. And they're not selling you anything. See, anybody selling you something, I mean, they look honest, they sound honest because they're practiced to look that way. But, their motive isn't yours. Isn't your interest. They need to make a living. And they're going to get you to, buy something as hard as they can. So you can't, see, you're doing this once in your lifetime, maybe, and you can't compete with somebody who's doing this 100 times a day, trying to get people to buy this. You can't, that's like coming to a gunfight with a knife. You're just not going to win, no matter what the hell you do. So you need that kind of help first. Free Wi-Fi and computer services at the library. People don't realize the library is really a neat place, and they'll do research for you. Some of them will even help you set up businesses on the internet on their nickel. I mean, they'll sit down with you and show you how to do it, things like that, or set up a Facebook account if you're really paranoid, with computer stuff. And most importantly, they have access to, and I have a video here that shows you how libraries do that. Now, they don't all do that, so check with your library to see. But what's also here is they have two databases. One, this is from foundations. Foundations are those big organizations that are nonprofits that give out money to people. And that's where the original grant came from. It mostly goes to nonprofits. They have some that go to individuals, and they have a database of 10,000 there. And they have another one of 140,000 that is not for an individual, but organizations, nonprofits, maybe companies too, depends on the program. But what's interesting, this database is so important because 90% of these people don't have websites. 90%. Boy, sounds like the dark ages, huh? So that's why this database is free, but you have to run it through the library. Call the library, find out where to get it. Maybe it's a local library, maybe they use it there or whatever, but they should know about it. Okay, here, make an appointment with a housing counselor. These people get grants to help you buy a house, fix up a house, help you fix your credit, whatever. All free. They're not selling you anything. They get grants. They're getting paid already. These are private people in business. The government decides, okay, your business could help people for free, so we will pay you what it costs for you to do that. See, you don't have to worry. They're already getting, and then videos of people who do that there, so you can see what kind of people they are. They're neat. Your county cooperative extension service does that too. I have a video there of how they do it. They may or may not where you live, so contact them and see. They could help you also with your garden, and they helped us. We have a garden in the backyard here, and they're very helpful in that. Veterans, man, there's a special service just for vets. That they get you twice as much money than anybody else. Look at the video with this, because a video that shows you they did a survey, research on all these offices around the country, and they're winding up getting veterans or veterans' families, stuff like that, 100% more money. Free professional help on any aspect of real estate that may generate your income. So if you got real estate property or something, you're trying to make a little money out of it, maybe through Airbnb or flipping houses or whatever you're going to do, here's all your consulting help for free. These people help you with management. They help you with legal problems, technical help, and everything. Right. You'll never find them in Google, because Google, you look for financial assistance or something. It's banks, and everybody's going to sell you money. No, these are all free stuff. And make an appointment, call them what you're doing. You're trying to flip houses or whatever, and they could help you. Here's a bunch of places how to get cheap phone service, even broadband for free, or cheap, like $10 a month, the phone service for free. That's income determinant, so it depends on where you live. State programs, a lot of money there. Not as much as some states, but you got some. You got down payment money, closing cost money. You got money to pay back mortgages. Wow. So you're late for a mortgage, or you're going to be late. Talk to these people. They give you up to $36,000 to pay back mortgages, so you can keep your house. So that's just an amazing program, to me. And what else they have? They also have $5,000 if somehow you can't keep your house because you're just over water too much or whatever. They'll give you $5,000 to help move. Wow. Now that's neat. Now that's how much the banking industry screwed us. So here's another one. Banks that will put grants into your checking account. Actually, it's the government money that does that. So if you put $1 into these banks, the government puts in $2, $3, $4, or whatever it is, in addition. So you make a hell of a lot more. Man, this is better than going to a casino and winning. Because if you put in, $1,000, all of a sudden you have $3,000 just for being there. So that you should know about. Federal programs. Okay, call this number if you have a certain mortgage already. Because don't go on the internet looking for mortgages. You're going to get somebody, refinance your mortgage, get somebody going to sell you something that do the same thing, but they're going to cost you more money probably. So check the free ones first. That's what these people are. And make sure, because we got a lot of new government programs to get your mortgage down, so you don't have to worry about paying your bills anymore. 50% discount on homes. That's special discounts for homes. That's for people in certain jobs like firefighters, teachers, emergency medical people, homes for sale by HUD, or here housing repair money. And this is North Carolina, housing repair and loans and grants for that, money to buy houses. Most of this is rural money, because that's the Department of Agriculture, what they're there for. Guaranteed loan even for that. Now here's the independent counseling for reverse mortgage. Make sure if you're going to do a reverse mortgage, you talk to these people first. It's very important, because the reverse mortgage people want to sell you something and get a lot of money for you. So this is a video. It's 2 parts. I'll give you a rest. Give me a rest. I got to go change my suit, put on a new suit, and we'll do part 2, okay? Okay, now let me go over some of the, let's say, non-government money sources and the non-money government sources for housing. Okay, first is peer-to-peer loans. I mean, everybody knows that, the traditional loans, you go to the bank and to give them money, to lend to somebody other, money, and they make a lot of money, they make middle. And if you go to the bank to borrow money, you get charged a lot. And if you go to the bank to save money, you don't get much. So that's why these peer-to-peer loans that are now popping up on their website, man, I think this is going to revolutionize everything. Not overnight, but it's growing. I mean, there's billions and billions of dollars now here. And it's a place to get money with cutting out the middleman. In other words, so if you go to a bank and put in $1 or something, they're only giving you like 1% nowadays on your money. And then if you go to borrow, they're charging you 10, 12% or something like that. So now on these peer-to-peer loans, what happens is that individuals go to the website and lend money to people, but in mass, so that you get 100 people lending you $10,000 or something like that. And so they're getting 3 or 4%, and you're only getting charged like 4, 5, 6%, 7% or something like that. So that's why everybody's winning, except the fat cats on Wall Street, with the investors in the banks, and it makes it just a lot more personal and everything. So that's why I think there's a lot of reasons why this is going to grow. So I got some of the more popular ones. A lot of them, these are for businesses and things like that, for small businesses, large businesses, that people use them, individual loans. And see, what's neat about this stuff is that it's so much easier. It's faster. And also here's the banks, for community development financial institutions. These banks are banks, but they're friendly community banks, like the old ones in the movies. What was that movie with Jimmy Stewart, where he had a little community bank and everybody was borrowing money from them and the bank was going to go bankrupt and everybody's going to lose their house. Well, that's how these banks work. They're involved in the community. They're not invested because of, they have to make people on Wall Street happy. It's the community. So that's why they're friendlier, they're nicer, they're lower interest rate. Okay, also you can make a lot of money from your home from the shared economy. I don't know if you read about this, but this is really taking over so much of our world now because of the internet. It's a way people are using the internet to do things themselves, make extra money, cut out middlemen. Nothing's traditional anymore. This is why more people are earning money, part-time on the internet and stuff like that than traditional jobs now, it seems. And that seems to be the way things are going. And they're piecing together different kinds of income. Well, now with a home, that's an asset. You become now a capitalist because you own a home or even rent an apartment or anything. You could act like a capitalist and make money from the fact that you own a home, not just your labor, or you're at a home, or you have a place. And one way is through Airbnb. I don't know if you know about this. This is like instead of hotels, people are using Airbnb. This only started like 5 years ago or so, and now they're a bigger company than any of the big hotel chains. They're probably the most valuable company. They're more valuable than any hotel chain. They're something like $50 billion now. It depends on who you count. Some like 40 or whatever. I mean, Hyatt Hotels is only like 13 billion. But see, what's interesting about Airbnb, they have only like 2,000 or 3,000 employees. Hyatt Hotel has like 130,000 employees or something like that. But Airbnb is making money for like 1 million people. And now I've read like 1.5 million people. So it's a way to make money. Like we make a bunch of money off our apartment that we have in Washington, D.C. just because we have an apartment. We put on Airbnb. And see, these platforms take care of everything. You don't have to worry about collecting money. You don't have to worry about insurance. You don't have to worry about marketing. They do it all. And it's amazing. And so now it's sort of like becoming a entrepreneur with training wheels or something like that. It's a great way. So now because you have a home, you have an extra room, you can make money. I mean, people are making $500 a month or whatever, off an extra room. People are putting tents in their backyard even and renting that out. Actually, it's called Airbnb because people started with an air mattress in their living room renting that out. And so there's all ways to make money. Look at that. I got an article there about how to use it or how to be an Airbnb host, or how to get money. It costs you nothing to try. See, that's the other thing. None of this stuff now costs any money to try to make money at. That's what's neat. Most of these, schemes or whatever that were on the internet and everything, they wanted money from you. That's how they made money, was getting money from you. Here it costs nothing to try, and you only give them a small percent after you get the money. And they collect the money, they check out the money. You know, they do all the hard, you know, nonsense stuff. You know, most of us don't like doing. And that's why this is growing so fast. Okay, another way, through pets. Pets is another way, and I'll show you how I do that. People make $1,000 a month or so extra because they have another puppy around or something like that for a few days. You know, and because there's a growing business in the pet business, there's a website shows you how to do it. You know, and just sign up and see what happens. You know, if you have room, you don't have to be a house owner. You know, you can be a renter or an apartment renter and do this. Make money from your parking space when you're not using it. That's right. Just park. People, space. I mean, you're like a Wall Street fat cat, making your money make money. So here you can make your assets make money. That's what's neat about it. Or here's one for pet lovers. There's more about pet lovers. Or have people over for dinner, right, and make money. People from out of town love to have local people. You know, and this has now become a big business. So if you like cooking for people, you can make money at it. Have friends over for dinner. It's not thousands of people like, you know, a bus drives up to your house, you know, a nice couple or two couples from, from somewhere you never heard of, have dinner with you. And they're happy to spend money. That's it. Now here's another thing, is crowdfunding. That's another thing, you know, to make money. And I'll show you soon in real estate, but it's used for anything. Anything. This is now one of the biggest things that's up to $34 billion or whatever they're giving out last year. And it costs nothing. You don't have to pay the money back. It's free to do. See, that's another thing. All this stuff is free. No income requirements, no credit check. You know, you keep the money forever. No complicated business forms, no business plans, no lawyers, no accountants. All this stuff, when you go out and try to get money for doing anything, that's what you usually have to do. It's fast, you know, and there's no fat cat gatekeepers. Nobody's saying to say, well, you can't do this. You know, nobody's going to buy this. Nah, it doesn't matter. You go on the crowds, and the crowds tell you, and it costs nothing to do that. So you know for sure, you know, and you don't do it until they give you the money. Now I have a video there shows you how to set up a website. You have to remember it costs nothing. Some of these websites only take 20, 30 minutes to do. I have samples of people do this, you know, startup money. They get like $500,000, and they don't even need a product. No product. Hey, I'm going to do this. You guys interested? And if they say yes, they give money, and then you collect enough money. Okay, I got enough to do it now. I'll come back next year, send you the product. Well, that's crazy, isn't it? I mean, would you go to Macy's and have them walk in, here's money, I'll come back next year and pick up the product? That's what people are doing on the internet. Why? Doesn't matter why, it's there. You're looking for a way to survive. This is a tool. These are all tools now in our society. There's dozens of people here. I show you my videos here. So I've interviewed like 700 people have done this. Also now you could use it for buying a home too, crowdfunding money. Now here I have some articles. What I did is I took articles that are out there that I reviewed and everything. They seem a good place to understand how to do it for buying a property, fixing up property and things like that, how doing it. Then I show you websites that are just for that. I mean, the major websites, if you heard of like Indiegogo or GoFundMe and places like that, you know, they're not specific for housing. But these that I show you are for housing, so that's sort of interesting. You try both. I don't know what works. Nobody knows what works. You can ask all the advice you want, and until you try it, you really don't know. Okay, and also for investments. People want to flip homes. That's a big idea nowadays. Well, crowdfunding you could use for that. People are doing that now. Even the big time, you know, flippers or whatever. Flippers. Wasn't that a TV show or something or whatever? And they're using it because it's a new way, it's a faster way, it's a better way, it's a fun way to get the money you need instead of talking to some stuffy banker, you know. And that's what I have a video of a woman who runs one of these sites, you know, that people use for flipping houses and things like that. A couple articles and like, and then I show you other websites that do that. Now another thing that people really meetups are very popular now. You know that people get together in groups and talk about stuff or whatever. Well, now I mean, you go to any city, I mean, there's 100, they're like AA meetings, you know, but they're for everything. I mean, you go down, I did it for your city, I did one, and you just put in like business and careers or something, and you'll see dozens and dozens, depending on the city, how many there are. And find one for real estate investors. There'll be one, there'll be two, there'll be a dozen, there'll be 20, there'll be 50, or whatever. And just show up. It costs $20 for a cheap meal or something like that, and that's it. But you find other real estate investors. If you don't know about this stuff, what you're probably doing is going online and searching Google, and looking for how to invest in real estate or something. And you'll get some huckster like me who will try to sell you something. And you don't have to do that, And why? Because then it's painful. It costs a lot of money. They have courses now, thousands of dollars worth. Donald Trump was selling them for like $20,000 or something, how to invest in real estate. You go to a meetup. And actually, by the way, he started his whole empire with a government property in Cincinnati, the ones I showed you about earlier. And so you could go to these groups and find out how other people are doing it. Then you have a friend who's in the business, who's doing it, other people like that could help you know exactly what's going on in your area, because they probably already tried it and failed. So that's a better way to learn, than spending thousands of dollars on some course or whatever, and who the hell knows what you get. Trump's getting sued like hell out of these things. All that. I was involved and I saw all this stuff happening, all these get-rich-quick schemes. It just takes effort, and the knowledge is there. And it's just putting it to work and trying and trying and trying. Oh, here's another thing. It's fat cats, angels. And you could go, what's neat about the internet too is that it's getting everybody in a barrel. So all these fat cats that are out there want to invest in stuff, they're now all online. They're looking most of these websites, I'll show you, like angels.co, they're looking for companies or techie stuff or some kind of small business going. But real estate, I'm sure they'd be interested. You got to find somebody. But at least you have, like here, for your state, there's over there's 4,000 or 5,000 people in your state, fat cats, interested in investing in ideas. They're right there. Wow. All their contact information is there. Before, when I was growing up, you had to belong to the country club or something like that to find help like this, or get in touch with these people, or beat on them, or whatever it is. And there's other websites that have similar kind of thing. And then here's what I put in. This is where government offices that, well, they don't give out money, but they can get your money back. Because so many people get screwed nowadays. People who don't treat you right and stuff like that. Or you don't know your rights, and everybody thinks you have to spend $500 an hour or $200 an hour, whatever lawyers cost anymore, and to get justice, but you don't. You could get the best attorneys in the world to work for you for free. You just have to learn the system. And they're there, and they have to fight for you. That's what they're there for, because they regulate that industry. So it's the cops. See, every business, everybody has cops that they have to report to, and you find those cops, and they come down, and even if you, the customer, are wrong, they have to investigate anyway. So that's what's neat. So you have power in the system this way. Otherwise, if you don't know about this, you have no power to me, because you have to spend, $500, $1,000, $2,000 on a lawyer to get back at somebody, because they'll just say, no, I'm sorry, or whatever, and get a letter from their lawyer. And their lawyers, even if you get your lawyers, are going to be better than your lawyer. They do this all the time, but nobody's good. It's sort of like you getting a letter from the IRS that you owe them, $75. Well, even if the IRS is wrong, you probably pay them, right? Just to get it off your back. Well, for business, it's the same way. The insurance company gets a letter that they owe you $500, or you say they owe them $500. It's cheaper to pay you the $500 than to talk to that bureaucracy for the next 3 months or whatever the hell it is, and possibly lose and be fined or be thrown out of business. They have too much to lose by screwing with the government. It's easier to pay you off. So banks are that way, real estate brokers are that way, insurance companies are that way, even lawyers. There's even a pot of money, in your state capital for lawyers who ran off with your money. So we all that. And then how to check for any professional. And then also there's a national bill with the Federal Trade Commission that you could get, if bill collectors don't treat you nicely, you could get $1,000 from them. That's right, get $1,000 for them. I show you how to do that. It's something you could threaten from, when they say, hey, do you know you're violating the law? Here's the law, look it up. and here's what I'm going to pursue. And then I show you how to get free research help on anything. Google is a problem. It's good, it handles a lot of stuff, but you really have to know exactly what you're looking for. Like up earlier, we talked about, you put in mortgage debt, and you'll get 170 million websites or whatever, and that's why it's just overwhelming. You don't know exactly what to ask for. Now, it's great if you know what to ask for. You're looking for Matthew Lesko. Then you could find everybody like me. But if you're looking for money to solve a problem and you do that, then Matthew Lesko will probably find you, because if I spend a lot of money on Google, I want to find people who have that question. And I'm going to spend a lot of money on Google because I know I can maybe get money from you. See, and that's what Google is all about. If it's a place to spend money. If you want to spend money doing something, Google, because everybody who wants to get money from you spends a lot of time and energy and money trying to figure out Google, how to make sure you see them when you go to Google. So that's what those first two videos are all about. And then I tell you about 211org, the organization I list up above. These are wonderful, because this is a database of all nonprofit and government offices that solve problems. So nobody in their database will charge you a penny. Wow. And I call them the second best in the world, because I feel I'm the best because I'll show you a lot more because I understand more of these things than they do. But this is a wonderful source, and I turn to it finding something and checking things. So even on reports, if I miss something or whatever, they don't have a lot of stuff I have, because I somehow have a knack of taking something that they give and they don't see how it can be used for some reason, like houses for $1. They used to call it the Urban Homesteading Act. So if you saw Urban Homesteading Act, you wouldn't know what the hell it was, right? It's a house for $1, right? So, okay, your local library, people don't forget about that. That's wonderful. They'll do research for you. They know experts, particularly local sources for money and help. And then your elected official. Watch this video there we have on how to use your elected official, because they are the most important source that we all have, and they'll work for you for free. They want to do this for free, because if they help you with something, you'll vote for them no matter what they do. They get caught with their hand in a cookie jar, but as long as they got you a $50,000 grant or something, you'll still vote for them probably. And they know that. This is why they stay in business. All their staff is aimed at doing favors for constituents, people like you who are going to vote. And they want to do that. And they have special access to government offices that you and I don't. You and I have to go in the front door. These people have a backdoor phone number to call, because the government office gets paid from the congressmen and senators, the elected officials. That's where they get their money. They don't get it from us. We give it to the government, and then Congress decides how to spend it. So that's why they keep everybody in Congress happy. So they'll answer a question and solve the problem a lot faster from them than they will you or me. That's just the way the world works. May not be right, may not be justice or whatever, but that's what it is. And it's a system. We all have access to it no matter who we are in this country. And that's what I'm trying to do, is make sure everybody knows what's available and how to use it. Because if you don't, you're going to go on Google and think that's reality when it's not. Man, there's so much there for us all if we just start using it.